Welcome to the podcast Mining Matters, where you can dig a little deeper into developing your English speaking skills as a mining or minerals processing industry professional with me, Kirsten. Each month I will dive into one topical issue affecting the mining and the mineral processing industries. You can listen to a short discussion of the topic by me, and then I will explore some of the background of the vocabulary and the grammar that I chose to use. You can then develop your own discussion of the topic and use these examples to deepen your understanding and bring you closer to English fluency. Now you can choose to record yourself at home and keep the recordings as a record to observe your own improvement. Or you could join my speaking program, get some personal and private feedback from me, while joining in some lively and insightful conversations with other industry processing professionals. I promise you will see your skills transform in ways you never expected, while having fun. Now check out my website in the link for more information about the speaking program and to see if it is right for you. If it is not, I am glad you could join me anyway, and I hope you find the support and motivation you were looking for here. So you want to become fluent in a new language? That's great. But an often overlooked aspect of learning a language is that it takes more than just memorizing vocabulary and grammar rules. Reaching true fluency requires dedicating time and effort to understand the nuances of the language on multiple levels. First, let's talk about what it really means to be fluent. Fluency is commonly defined as the ability to speak a language easily and accurately. But fluency encompasses more than just mastering pronunciation and vocabulary. It also means grasping the subtle meanings behind words, understanding cultural references, using appropriate slang and colloquialisms, and adopting the proper speech patterns and intonation. Fluency looks different for each learner, based on their unique goals and needs. The level of fluency required for casual conversations is quite different from business settings or academic environments. So how can you work towards fluency? Well, here are some tips. In my opinion, immersion is key. The more you surround yourself with native speakers or natural speakers and authentic materials in the language, the faster you'll progress. Watch movies and TV shows, listen to music, read books, newspapers, have conversations with native speakers. Full immersion activates all aspects of language learning. And get feedback on your speaking. It's not enough to just memorize vocab and grammar rules. You need to practice producing the language out loud. Enroll in a speech course, join a conversation partner program, find a language exchange. Just get feedback from natural speakers on your pronunciation, intonation, word choice, and cultural appropriateness. This will truly refine your speaking skills. Learn idioms, slang, and colloquialisms. Mastering a language means understanding informal phrases and expressions that are often not taught in textbooks. Read widely and take note of commonly used sayings and slang. Understand how natural speakers communicate informally. Using the right colloquialisms will make you sound more natural. And appreciate the cultural context. Language is deeply tied to the culture it developed in. Learn about history, values, pop culture, humour, and daily life. This will give you true insight into how and why natural speakers communicate the way they do. Movies and books are great for understanding cultural references. Set goals and stay persistent. Look, reaching fluency takes a commitment over quite a long time. Set clear goals like joining a conversation group or passing a speaking exam. Break goals into manageable steps. Stay motivated through all of your setbacks. And don't forget to celebrate the small wins. With regular practice, you'll make steady progress. I hope these tips give you some ideas for you improving your fluency in your target language. What aspect of fluency are you most excited about developing? So there may be some new words in that passage that you haven't heard before. Let's have a quick look at some of them. Nuances. Nuances is quite a complex word. It just means a shade of a meaning. So a subtle difference or a difference by shade in a meaning, an expression, or a sound. That's a nuance. A colloquialism is an expression or a word that's used informally, very casually, and it tends to be used within a culture. Pop culture. There are any cultural activities, any media that's popular or appeals to the general population. Now, slang. Slang is a term you may have heard before, but it's important to know that slang is very informal words, very casual, very relaxed, but it's often tied to a particular period or group of people. So there's Australian slang. Immersion. That's a really important one for language learners. So that's being deeply engaged in an environment where it is everywhere. Okay, so full immersion in a language might be living in the place where that language is the native language. It could be reading, TV, conversations, immersing yourself into that language, diving in and just living and experiencing that language. And subtle. Subtle was used to define nuances. They're very closely related. Something that's not immediately obvious. It's really quite delicate. Delicate might be a good word. Very precise. And a slight variance in a language is a really slight change in tone, meaning, expression. So reaching fluency in a new language requires more than just learning vocabulary and grammar. You need to grasp the subtle nuances. Nuances are the slight differences in tone, meaning, or expression that are hard to pick up at first. Fluency also means understanding colloquialisms, the informal words and phrases used in everyday speech, but not formal writing. Things like slang, idioms, and pop culture references. To start picking up on nuances and colloquialisms, immersion is key. Immersion means surrounding yourself fully in the language, watching TV, listening to music, reading books, and most importantly, having conversations. The more exposure you get, the more your brain adapts to recognizing subtle cues and colloquial speech. Pay close attention to how native speakers use the language casually. Ask for feedback to refine your speaking skills. With time and practice, all these nuances will make up true fluency and they will become second nature to you. If you're in my monthly speaking program, I can't wait to talk to you about this one-on-one. You can get some practice, improve your speaking, and I can help you by giving you some targeted advice for your situation.